Justice Games, for the record. So going through this and what Vanessa was talking about, I just wanted to point out, so this policy that is in front of you was issued December 10th of 2018. It was not made public, it was not available on the website, it was not brought to PARA's attention even though you have the power to review these policies. It was not told to anyone. The only reason we found out about this was because of an APRA request. And I don't believe it was made public until Director Batista actually informed the police that it wasn't public, and that was only maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 and a half weeks ago. And so for 6 months, this was operating not publicly, which is a violation of the Community Safety Act. Another thing is that in January of 2018, the first set of criteria? 2018. In January of 2018, there was a set of criteria released for the gang database that were, I believe, nine of the 14 criteria were illegal. We had sent a letter to the city solicitor, and the policy, the criteria were removed until further review. About 7 of those criteria have been copied word for word back in this, and only a few of them have changed slightly to change slight legal language, but they're still illegal. They're still using things like association. For example, I'll bring you to criteria number 11, contributor in gang publications. First of all, that's a violation of freedom of the press. Second of all, what's a gang publication? And third of all, that's association. Literally saying someone's being named in something is a violation of the fact that they cannot use association to decide whether someone is a gang member. So that's a violation of the CSA, or the Community Police Relations Act. Another thing is that the criteria number 1 is clearly an attempt to grandfather people in from the previous gang database that was illegal, and there is no sort of enforcement in this policy to actually see if the previous gang database designations met the criteria of the CSA. So there's no real way to check whether grandfathering people in from the last database is going to be legal, and there's no recourse for someone to be able to check that data. On top of that, besides it not being issued and being made public within the last 6 months, besides the fact that many of these criteria are illegal, we also, as Vanessa pointed out, see that there were people being deleted off this gang database as we were told there was no gang database being maintained. That was said at one of these meetings publicly by the police department. That's on public record. The city solicitor also told us that in a letter in January of 2018. So if they've been lying to us, that is again a violation of the Community Police Relations Act, aka this Community Safety Act, which is illegal. I can't stress enough that this is all more than enough information to sue the city and to sue the police department, because these are violations of the law. And in the Community Safety Act, there is accountability that says any individual who is subject to violations of this ordinance have the right to sue the city and the police department. So again, outside of PARA, the police department is not in compliance with the law, and they've been continuing to operate, continuing to lie to the community, and continuing not to publicize the work that they're supposed to be doing to be in compliance with the Community Safety Act. And as a board, it's part of your role to oversee that and to hold them accountable. At this point, I'm sort of at a loss of what to do besides sue the city, besides create more, have more direct action and come to these meetings, because frankly the police department has not been acting in good faith. None of this is a good faith act. This is not a good faith act. To issue this, the review was June 10th. So that was a few days ago, or last week. I don't know what dates are anymore. This was 2 weeks ago. Thank you. It was 2 weeks ago. Right? No, it was 2 weeks ago, right? And this was only made public the week before, I believe, correct? It was only made public the week before, which means they were up to review this policy before it was even legally public. There was no way without an APRA request to get this document. And I know because I was checking the website. I have a screenshot.
Totally hear you.
And so, what does that mean that our police department is still not being in compliance with the law? This isn't just something that the community wants. This was a thing that the city council passed twice. Had a whole month-long process to review the policies that the police chief, the police commissioner, and the head of the police union, the Fraternal Order of Police, were all involved in, and they're still not in compliance. And so I really don't know what to do, because we also know, you all know that there's been challenges to the gang database. Why is this report saying no? Oh, another thing that the police department has not done that's legally out of compliance is they did not audit this. They are legally required to audit the gang database every single year. This was issued December 10th, 2018. They did not have an audit for 2018. Again, that's another grounds for a lawsuit.
Thank you. I'm sorry we can't comment back.